Hi, it's Sarah here from Crafting and Stamping, and I'm back with one of my quick tips for you today. And today it's about using the border dies, and in particular it's about how to use them to create an edge to your card. Now, I did this the other day and created a card with an edge that is only a partial card front. But this means that this can stand quite easily like this. Now, the other option that we've got is to create as a tent fold. So this is if you like, a standard card that will stand up like this. A tent fold is one that's going to stand up like this. So in this case, it would be in landscape mode, and you would have the tent, as it were, stood like that. The only thing that I have against this style of card is that when they're stood up on the mantelpiece, they're great to start off with, but as the room gets warm, they tend to move further and further out. So that's just something to consider. The other thing is that it's possible that the edge could be a little bit delicate. So if we're doing this as a tent fold, as I'm actually going to today, it could be that the edge of the border die may be just a little bit too fragile. This wasn't done as a tent, but I'll show you what I mean. That would be a little bit fragile for it to sit on. That one probably more so because there's just those two pieces that would be at the base. With this one, we've got more that is at the base, so that's not too bad. Now, the other thing that I'm just going to caution you about is to make sure that you do cut the card. This is just a half of an A4, and I suspect that this has been made, I'm not quite sure whether it's been done for US sizing or UK sizing, or whether they've just tried to go in between. But I would just make sure that if you're going to err on the side of caution, then make it just a bit wider than a half, just a smidge wider. It's still going to fit within a standard envelope perfectly okay. If we went a bit wider, you can see that that's still going to fit in quite easily. So, like I say, a couple of tips there. Now, I like to get this set up, and I do like to use washi tape to just hold it in place as it goes through the die cutting, the cut and emboss machine. So I'm just going to get this lined up and make sure that these edges are even with the card. And I've turned it around this way just because I find it easier. And I'm making sure that my cut line is just inside the card base there, and I'm going to pop a bit of tape there. This bit's going to get cut away, so if it does happen to rip slightly, let me get that lined up. That should be. So I'm just looking as well. I think I might possibly have done that. Not quite. There we go. I think I might have put that on just a little bit in the wrong place. So let's get that lined up. This is why I've got the grid paper in the background. So I'm getting myself lined up there, and I'm making sure that this is lined up at the same bit here. So if I just move that down, that is, yeah, that's in a line. So there we are. Now, obviously, I say obviously, maybe not obviously, we do need to extend that out for this to go through the die cutting machine. So let me just position this so that you can see, and this will just go through. So you need to make sure that all these edges are straight. And I'm going to feed this through, and I'm going to take it through and then back. I can feel that that has gone far enough. And let me straighten the rest up again. That's a bit better. And then we can pull that away, and we're just going to need to press out some of these pieces here. So let's move that out of the way. And I've got the old-fashioned bristle brush here. You can get the Take a Pick attachment for this. They no longer do the separate brush. But to be quite honest, where's my Take a Pick tool gone? I usually just use my Take a Pick tool with these sort of size of die cuts. So, just need to be a little bit gentle with this. It can be a little bit fragile. If you wanted to strengthen this, I'm not going to today, but if you wanted to, you could get some clear window sheet and affix that behind. It's those little curly ones that are the most difficult to clear. So you could get some window sheet, adhere it behind, and then trim away the excess, and that would give you a strengthened base. So let me just push those out of the way. So that now gives us, and again I'm going to just reinforce that crease line. That gives us our cutaway card, and as you can see here, it's gone nicely to the edge without cutting it away entirely. That was because I just went just a tiny smidge more than halfway. So that then gives us our 10th fold card, and as you can see, if I just spread that out a little bit, that stands up quite nicely. And what I'm going to do now is to just decorate this with some die cuts that I've got. I'm going to stamp my sentiment here and then pop the die cuts on. I'm going to have an insert that actually is going to cover the whole back. I'm going to make sure it doesn't go quite up to this line, because as you can see, you sometimes need to just press that, burnish it further, and if your insert goes right into that crease fold, you will have difficulty folding this. Okay, so that is my tip for this week. You'll be able to link to see the finished card. In actual fact, I will just pause the video and I will come back and show you the finished card. So back just briefly to show you the finished card. And what I've done is die cut out of the Hello Irresistible DSP the flowers and the leaves, and then I've stamped a sentiment from that same set here directly on the front, which is why I chose a pale colour, this petal pink, for my card base. I've added a few of the loose frosted dots, and then on the inside I've actually taken a sentiment from the Charming Sentiments to add a birthday greeting on the inside. So that, as I say, is our tip for today in how to use the border dies to create an edged tent fold card. So I hope that gives you another idea for using these lovely dies. And of course, we've got an offer of 15% discount on the papers, most of the DSP this month. So this Hello Irresistible Blooms has got 15% off at the moment, so take advantage of that as well while you can. Please do subscribe to my channel below to see a quick tip every Friday and a quick card every Monday, and please do like if you enjoy the the tips and cards that I share with you here. Thanks for stopping by.